questions. Executive Director Dennis Santiago of the Government Procurement Policy Board is also here to answer your procurement-related questions. Please make sure to state your name and your organization before stating your question. Thank you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Actually, I'd like to talk about three things. One is the budget reform bill, which will seek to modernize the budgetary system. The current budgetary system is 30 years old. I was the one who designed this under President Aquino, and I think it's about time that we modernize this. The second one is, as mentioned, the Procurement Reform Act, which has been blamed, I would say, erroneously for the delays in projects. They use the Procurement Reform Act as an excuse for project delays under the old administration, and it's still being used right now. Okay, so we decided to reform that as early as last year, right? That is in October. Fortunately, the Budget Reform Act, the Procurement Reform Act, allows the GPPB to issue guidelines or implementing rules and regulations, IRR, and it authorizes IRR to also amend the rules. You don't need to amend the law itself. The GPPB is empowered to amend and implement the rules and regulations as the need arises. Okay? So we've done that last October, and I think we made some progress as far as the implementation of the Procurement Reform Law is concerned. Okay? So that's the second item. The third item is on the reenacted, the possibility of a reenacted budget in the light of some changes that the House did in the President's budget. I would say right now that I foresee that is unlikely. The likelihood of having a reenacted budget at this time is probably nil or close to zero. Okay, because the President, as you know, he has an approval rating of 82%, and he has supermajority in both houses of Congress. And we do not allow we don't want delays in the implementation of projects, and the consequences of the reenacted budget are disastrous. Number one, it will involve uncertainty on the implementation of projects, because as long as the budget is reenacted, then the government. First of all, my position, and this is contained in an article I wrote 3 years ago, so that it will be distributed. It is number one, a reenacted budget means that you have to operate on the prior year's budget, which means only the personal services and the current operating expenditures or the maintenance and other operating expenditures are being reenacted. The capital outlays, so for example, the capital outlays that are authorized in this year's budget cannot be reenacted in next year's budget. That doesn't make sense, right? Because the project that is done this year cannot be reenacted again next year. For example, if there's a 100 million bridge that was allocated for this year, you cannot construct the same bridge for next year. So I think that should be known to the congressmen and the senators. This will be tantamount to jeopardizing our build program. Okay? Because there are many projects that are outlined in the 2018 budget that are not contained in the 2017 budget. Number two, a reenacted budget means that we will not be able to implement the quality-free tertiary education, because that was not in 2017, right? So cannot be implied to be reenacted in 2018. Number three, the promise of the president to double the salary of policemen and soldiers cannot be implemented in 2018 if you have a reenacted budget. But as I said, I see the possibility of reenacted budget as close to nil. So the probability that it will be reenacted is practically unlikely. Okay? Highly unlikely. So, right, to distribute the IRR funds right now, so that you know. So, as I said earlier, the budget practices that is contained in the budget framework right now is 30 years old. Okay. That was done in 1967 rather, and it needs to be reformed. A major feature of that is that we will now operate on a one-year budget, because the current practice is to assign 2 years. For example, appropriations in 1986 has a life of 2 years. It can be spent in 1986 up to the end of 87. To me, that is a major reason for the delay. The bureaucrats, they tend to procrastinate and say, look, I have 2 years to do this, I'm not working. I'm going to push this hard. Now we are very strict. You have to spend your money during the fiscal year. So that's a major change in our budget system. Secondly, we will also strengthen the power of the purse of Congress. Under the Constitution, the President submits the budget to Congress, and it's Congress that authorizes the President. And if you make some changes in the budget, the President has to go back to Congress and tell Congress, look, I'm going to make the following changes, and there's a mechanism where Congress might approve or disapprove the changes. So it strengthens the power of the purse of Congress under our proposed reform bill, which is progressing well in both houses of Congress. As you notice, it's one of those bills that the President mentioned in the State of the Nation address. Budget reform bill, right sizing, etc. So the President is behind this reform. I said, could you distribute? Have you distributed? All right. So are there any questions? Yes.
Good morning, sir. Celerina Monte from Diokno. You have mentioned that past enacted budget is unlikely to happen. So what is the likelihood also that this budget, that the budget cut from the CHR as well as from the two other agencies would also be restored? Okay.
I do not assign likelihood. The process is like this. We submit the budget to the House. Because under the Constitution, all money bills, meaning the budget, taxes, and tariffs, shall originate in the House. Now, from there, they prepare a bill. Right now, they are preparing a bill, and they will submit it to the Senate. If the plan pushes through, they will submit the Senate, the GAB, the so-called General Appropriations Bill, to the Senate next week. Now, under the Constitution, the power of the Senate is to concur or propose amendments.
Like a substitute.
That's been done in the past,
Yeah,
but it doesn't work like that. Okay? The Senate is supposed to propose amendment or concur. Now, there may be disagreeing provisions, and these are some of those, right? CHR, IP, and then ERC. So then you have to, there will get conflicting versions of the Senate version in the House. Then you form the conference committee, what I call third chamber. And that's where the differences are addressed up. And then once they come up with the report, it's voted separately by the House and the Senate. That's the process. So let's not put some probability that it will be restored, I think. But knowing both the Senate and the House, they will not procrastinate. It will not take long. They will have to decide. Okay? They cannot drag on because their plates are full. Both houses are you need a constitutional reform. They have you have the train, you have DDL, etc. They have to decide as soon as possible. In fact, our desire is that the budget should be approved before the end of November. Okay.
So, sir, what will happen if ever na we would agree on 1,000 budget? What will happen to the
Let us not speculate. I'm sure they will not.
Pero just in case,
Let's not
kasi of
speculate.
course the employees of those three agencies would be worried. Would yung salary ba nila would be affected or hindi naman?
They will be affected. They will be affected.
So what will happen to the salary or what will happen to the employees?
But as I said, that's not likely to happen. Not likely. Not likely. So let's not speculate on what will be the action of the company. These are mature people, right? They talk, they compromise. The legislation is the art of the compromise. Right? So that's another question. Yes.
Secretary Joy Gumatay from PTV. You've mentioned, it is mentioned on the press release given to us that there will be a technical working group set on September 25 to iron out provisions of this reform bill that will be passing. Do you have any points regarding what specific aspects of the provision might be ironed out on this to be conducted meeting?
Okay, this is one way of facilitating the passage of the bill. That's the usual practice. Okay, senators are busy, congressmen are busy, so they assign this to their staff, and so they talk I don't know exactly what provisions are being, but this is one way of smoothing the bill at that level, and then they will brief their principal. So this is done all the time in Congress. Other questions?
Yes, sir. Sigfrid Delgado from Bloomberg. Just to clarify, regarding I'm wondering about the possibility of a supplemental budget because of a number of things. One would be the rebuilding in Marawi, and then second is the proposed doubling of pay for uniform personnel, which I think isn't really doesn't really form part of the GAA at the moment, as well as the newly enacted free college tuition law.
Yeah, there's always the possibility of a supplemental budget, but as it is now, I think we have enough leeway in the 2018 budget that can accommodate the doubling of the salaries of soldiers and the policemen, and also we have already identified the funds from which we will get the free tertiary education. So at the moment, there's no need, as far as I'm concerned, there's no need for a supplemental budget. Although we might submit something else in the future, but not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Yes. Sir, sorry, to clarify, you said that you've already identified funding sources for the free college tuition law, but shouldn't the executive ask for authority to spend with the Congress?
Yeah, we have already identified, and they also agree. So that the changes will be reflected in the bill that they will. So, for example, the doubling of the salaries of soldiers and policemen will require an additional 20 billion. Okay, 20 billion. So that's not in that's while there is a salary adjustment for them already in the miscellaneous personal benefits fund, the lump sum fund, we feel that we need another 20 billion, and I'm in constant talked with both the chairman of the Appropriations Committee in the House and in the Senate, and we have so far identified already where to get the additional 20 billion for the soldiers and the police.
Sir? Sorry, sir.
Yes.
Ano ko lang, sir, follow-up ko lang.
Alright.
Sir, you said kasi, sir, yung dun sa free tuition, so magiging aligned. Anong agency, sir, yung affected sa alignment na? Yung makukunan ng budget para mapunta sa free tuition?
The requirement for the free tuition, we estimate that to be in the neighborhood of 51 billion, okay, to implement the quality free education. And let's just wait for the House resolution. I cannot tell you that because they're still pushing, pencil pushing, right? And they will come up with the House version by Monday, probably by Monday.
Pero, sir, may malalaking makukunan
Meron.
ng agencies.
Meron.
Like,
Sabi ko na yun.
isa lang, sir. Sir, pero clarify ko rin, sir.
Now there's some 16 billion for scholarships from various sources. So yeah.
Meron na, sir,
So
16.
meron 16, but not the full 16 will be used. And then something else. It will come out in the House version.
Sir, clarify ko lang po ulit yung 20 billion pesos for the doubling ng salaries. Sir, ito, just clarification, sir, meron na ito ngayon, sir.
Meron
Can
na,
you implement this?
kasi yung original plan namin was to increase it by, compared to 2015-2016 pay, will be increased by about 67%. But sabi ng Presidente, it's his promise that to have it double, so that's 100%. So when we calculated, we need an additional 20 billion, and na-identify na, but they have to go back to their colleagues to clear, to get the approval of their colleagues.
This is for the next gas, sir.
For the 28.
For the 28.
The doubling of the salary will be effective January 1st, 2018, not 27. All right, other questions?
Question, Manalis Pika. Secretary Lorenzana mentioned that you need more than 50 billion to rebuild Marawi. Is this is this final, or this integrating yung sa build projects?
Yeah, when I look at the statement, parang it's a combination of Marawi itself and some requirements for the armed forces. And so we have to sort it out. And the rehabilitation of Marawi will be a multi-year effort. It cannot be done overnight. So, and we, as I said, financing follows the plan. And right now, I have not seen the plan. Okay, so, but we are committed to building Marawi better. In fact, we have been in constant talks with China and Japan, and they are going to donate equipment. And for example, the Chinese promised that the equipment will be here by November. So we have a list of equipment that we need for the reconstruction. And most likely, the reconstruction will be done by the engineering brigade, because we want to have this done as quickly as possible. Because if you contract this out to the private sector, baka walang gusto mag-build this out. So we'll start with learning from the Yolanda. We'll start with the water system. Make sure that there's water and make sure that there's power. Unfortunately, they are close to the power source, plus the water source. So we will build those, and then, of course, build the infrastructure, and then build a house. So that's the plan. And most of this will be done by the engineering brigade. Equipment to be provided for by donations from China and Japan. Okay? So that's the plan.
Sorry. Question, you mentioned that it's a
It's a multi-year.
multi-year, long-term thing. So,
But in year one, there will be significant changes. Okay?
Ah.
You cannot do it in 1 year.
so lalabas within the Duterte administration pa rin?
Yes.
Possible.
Could be start as soon as the fighting stops. Okay? Or even before the fighting stops. Definitely within the Duterte administration.
Secretary, on another topic, the DOTR,
Identify yourself.
hi sir, Elijah from Business Room. Sir, the DOTR is one of the agencies that got the lowest cash utilization rates this year, and maybe just an explanation, and is this a sign that they're facing hurdles to carry out infrastructure projects, and noting that they have one of the biggest projects, the Mega Manila Subway coming up, so what was the cause of that low utilization?
Usually, since DOTR is largely an infrastructure project, that's kind of expected. Okay? Because projects follow an S curve. You're very slow in the initial months or years, and then it picks up significantly towards the middle part of the implementation, and then the end also. So I would blame that to maybe some of the projects are still being bid out. Okay? And so as soon as the projects are contracted out, then it will pick up. Okay? So unfortunately, we have really large projects, airports, seaports, the BRT, the Manila subway system will start first quarter of next year. It will be signed by both the Prime Minister of Japan and President Duterte in November, during the ASEAN. So, but we expect that to start in the first quarter of next year. But right now, we are already doing the groundwork. For example, Secretary Togade has already been to Japan, and he went to a city in Japan where there's subway being constructed to get first-hand view of how it's done. It will be from 2018 to 2027. The first, I think the first seven stations will be done during President Duterte's term, but the entire project will be finished months later.
So just to clarify, are you saying that the bigger the project, the greater the chances of them facing these hurdles of efficiently dispersing the budget?
No, but sometimes it's big in the sense that it's more expensive. But for example, they will bring in here 26 boring machines. Okay? Simultaneously, so it's not necessarily the bigger the project. Of course, it will take more time to build the project. But it's not necessarily also corresponding delays in the construction of the project. So for example, one of the projects of BTR, we did a Tutuban, Malolos, to Clark train. That's already in the budget. And there are many studies for airports and seaports. So, understandably, the reconstruction is slow. But you know, it could be unfortunate if because of the first year utilization is slow that you will cut the budget, because that means many of our projects will not be done. Okay? So I've seen that done in the past, okay? Where we because the budget is not moving, you cut the budget for the next following year, then that will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay? But if they don't have money, then they cannot do whatever. So it's the wrong move on the part of maybe the Senate or the House or something like that. Yes.
It's related to the military salary. Have you identified the state that about the plan to transfer the pension fund to the military to GSIS? GSIS said if you will transfer it to them, they will ask 7 trillion pesos for the national government. So what's the plan for this transfer?
7 trillion?
7.
That's even understatement. Okay. Could be more. Could be more. So the Department of Finance, DBM, the Department of Education, and Bureau of Treasury, we're looking at that. Okay. That's another matter. Okay, altogether, the pension. But we are actually right now making an inventory of all the assets of the military. Okay, how much in return they can pledge to, because you have to fund that 7 trillion if you transfer it to GSIS, right? So we have to identify assets like military accounts, the lease from this property, etc. And so we're identifying, in the process at the moment of identifying assets of the military, like in Kaplao, maybe in Magsaysay, how much is that value, etc. To build 7 trillion, we pledge it to GSIS. So one of the ways of financing. Of course, a big part of it will be through the budget, but there are some assets that you can pledge to GSIS so that they will take over the responsibility for their pensions.
Sir, we're selling some.
Now, some are to be sold, some to on lease, etc. Not necessarily to sell, but at least on paper, we will transfer the ownership to GSIS.
Definitely, sir, you cannot fund. You cannot transfer 7 trillion. So what's
We cannot fund,
Yeah.
definitely, but you have to identify assets that you can use to minimize the budgetary cost of that act by President Ramos. You know, President Ramos was responsible for that, right?
But have you identified
Now, as I said, we are in the process of identifying.
an initial amount that the GSIS will require?
No, we are also in constant touch with GSIS, so there's no set amount here.
But you can transfer, you will transfer the pension fund to the military within this administration.
We'll identify some assets that will pay for the 7 trillion. Okay, so if it's not enough, then it will be through the budget. Okay. But this will be over time, right? Hindi naman, that 7 trillion is our future liabilities.
Yeah.
Okay. So hindi naman yan annual na one time 7 trillion.
Sir, how many the possible numbers selling among the military?
No, we're not at that level. Okay, we're still identifying.
But sir, the transfer na is within this administration.
Within this administration. This problem arose during the time of Ramos. Started to do anything about it. Okay. Of course, started to sell for only 2 years. Right? And then GMA for 10 years, didn't touch it. I call this the elephant in the room. Okay? Nobody would like to talk about it. That is a big problem for the government. Okay? And then Pinoy also didn't talk about this. So now, President Duterte, we are going to address this. Otherwise, this will balloon into such a mess that maybe half of our budget will go to the military.
Sorry, to clarify a couple of things about the military pension. Doesn't this require another law amendment?
Yes, it will require. And so we are also drafting legislation to that effect. Okay.
So you'll do away with certain provisions like the indexation. Are these part of the reform?
But the rule is you cannot take away what you've given. Okay? You the generals will, of course, object to taking away what they were. So you have to have a two class of former soldiers and policemen. Those who will enter under the new regime and those who are already in the old regime. And so we recognize that. You cannot take away what you have given.
So the changes will only affect those who will be joining.
So the new recruits will be operating under a new set of rules.
Okay, and sir, the assumed 7 billion cost, you said that's not an annual cost. So what's the assumption for that? Is it within the 5-year horizon and year?
No, that's what BTR is, Bureau of Treasury is doing the actuarial work on that. So that is just a working number. We're not sure that 7 trillion could be higher than 7 trillion. I don't think it's lower. It's unlikely to be lower. All right? So this is work in progress, and we are committed to address this monumental problem during the term of the President.
When do you plan to file the bill?
Before the end of the year.
Thank you.
And then the present system is, in military members, are not paying anything to.
That's the unfortunate part. Right now, they're not paying anything. They don't have a contribution to a pension fund, both the soldiers and the military.
So the new scheme will be.
And it's a pity because under the Constitution, the police are supposed to be civilian in character, right? So they should be covered by GSIS. On the other hand, the military, as you know, the pension system has collapsed during the height of the Asian financial crisis. So right now, both the police and the military are not contributing to any pension system.
Future members will contribute.
They will have to contribute.
Sir, stupid question.
But
Sir, stupid question.
yes.
Sir, so if they're not...
There's no stupid question.
So if they're not contributing anything right now, kaya siya nagballoon ng ganito, sir, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, sir, yung presently, because every time someone retires, kumukuha naman ng pension.
Correct. And all those who have retired before, they have
Binibigyan pa din, sir, di
continue
ba?
to grow.
Until they die.
So right now, if my recollection is correct, the government, you pay something like 90 billion
A year.
a year from the general budget, from the budget that we approve. 90 billion for the retirement of these people. You pay for this.
Paano nangyari, sir?
Okay, si Ramos may kasalanan. Nag-collapse nga kasi yung kanilang half-slide. It used to be, if you're a civilian employee, you should contribute to GSIS. The military, they have their own pension system. But their own pension system collapsed during the height of the Asian financial crisis because they invested in properties which it turned out are not, well, the property value collapsed, right? They invested in golf courses, etc., etc. So forth.
Secretary Warren,
Yes, Father.
Sir, we known for some time the return on some of the pension funds. Yung mga things pwede ko mag-invest through that. Tapos malaki na yung return.
Well, in the past, that's true, because you have to, all you have to do is maybe invest in treasury bonds, etc. And during those days, the treasury bill rates was very high. Right now, they are very low, right? And if you invest your money, you know that as a private individual, you used to get 3% return on your deposits. Right now, it's 0.5%. In fact, in some countries, it's negative pa nga yung interest rate. But right now, it's really low. So many of the pension funds are really bad out. Unless they have invested them in the stock market, it's making good right now.
So there were errors na paano nga nangyari? I mean, nag-collapse.
Oh man, nung time ni Ramos, but he was responsible for indexing in the first place. I don't recall of any country in the world where the retirement of the pension is indexed to the salary of the incumbent. That doesn't make sense. So every time you increase the salary of the incumbent, their pension increases.
So this 90 billion will go if you go to the salary. This 90 billion will go.
Somebody will have to double check that, but that's my recollection. 90, from 70 to 90 billion at least. So if we don't correct this now, the day will come when maybe more than half, or right now I think it's half already, about 60-70% of the budget of the military will just go to pension. So that's the...
So sir, you're drafting something, sir, para shouldn't they be required?
Sabi ko, wala, kaya sabi ko, that's the elephant in the room. The parang would like to touch it because it's so huge. Hindi naman nila kaya, siguro yung militar, matatapos na sa militar. So, okay yan na lang. But we cannot just ignore this problem.
So when are
It was actually mentioned by President Aquino during his yung final SONA niya. He mentioned it, that we have a huge problem. Wala namang ginawa.
So sir, when are we requiring our soldiers and our policemen to contribute to their pension fund?
You need to amend the law so that they will contribute. In the US, they only have one social security system, right? You have social security system, you have the private, you have the government. Under government, you have civilian and military. Okay, just the same privileges. But right now, I think we should really consider both the military and the policemen, or what is called MUPs, military uniformed personnel, to be under GSIS. But if you're GSIS, will you accept that responsibility? Of course not, right? So you have to promise them, okay? In return, they'll give you the following assets, okay? Kaya yun sinasabi ko, we are coming up with inventory assets that we can pledge to GSIS. Okay, so we're just like, all right, please take this. So in return, we do this, plus an annual appropriation of this. Okay? So that's the solution.
Sir, how about Camp Aguinaldo? Can you sell it? And Camp Crame? Or
I think
meron
that
kontrata
the treatment for Camp Crame and Aguinaldo are different, right? Yung isa ata hindi mo pwedeng dispose. Okay? Otherwise, it will go back to the donor or something. I don't know which one. I think military you can dispose. Yung PC, sa PC pala, yung sa yung sa Crame can be disposed of, but yung sa kabila cannot.
Are we looking at Camp Crame, sir? Same na Camp Crame?
I'm not saying that.
But if you're, sir, if you're assessing all their, and Camp Crame is in a very nice area.
Eh, marami pang properties sa Bonifacio properties. They're attractive din yun, di ba?
Pero Camp
Kaya
Crame,
AFP owns a big chunk of the Bonifacio properties.
is it possible, sir?
Na
Camp Crame?
doon sa after the Bonifacio complex, meron sila mga kami doon. Di ba? Pwede pa rin yun. So we are coming up with an inventory of all this. Hindi naman kailangan ibente, di ba? Kasi maybe GSIS will not sell it. So, but the sale or the lease, or you can, for example, the AFP can come up with a joint venture with some of the property developers, so the payment of that can go to GSIS.
Sir, so syempre isa sa mga inventory, sir, Camp Crame.
Of course, of course.
And when you say, sir, inventory, pwedeng sale, pwedeng lease.
Speculation.
So, sir, hindi ko na-clarify ko.
All right, another question.
So are you thinking of also borrowing to solve this problem?
Yeah, we always have a borrowing program. Right now, we don't intend to borrow for this. Okay. Or we can actually float some bonds to pay some soldiers. We'll buy their future pension, right? So we'll start. There are many creative things we can do, but at least we're committed to solve this problem before it balloons into unmanageable. Right now, it's really close to unmanageable problem. So we're trying to do something about it.
Would you say, Secretary, na this is one of the main reasons why hindi na modernize ang military natin?
No. The modernization is a separate issue. In fact, I want you to know that they have, for example, for the next 5 years, we're allocating 25 billion for their modernization per year. So a total of 125 billion for the next 5 years.
So, for starting 2018.
We started in 2017. In fact, I asked them to come up with a list, prioritize. How many airplanes do you want to buy? How many helicopters do you want to buy? Etc.
So this is on top of the like 75 billion yung inalak ng previous administration.
And that's tawag on Horizon 1. Okay? But that's over a period of many years also. Okay? 75. This one is over a period of another 5 years. Okay? Up to 2022. 125 billion every year.
Sir, 125 billion every year.
Or rather, 125 over 5 years.
Okay.
So that's 25 per year.
But in your assessment, sir, bakit po kailangan gawin pa ulit ito after the sale of Camp 45? Yes. of
Bakit kailangan? You have to modernize your armed forces. We love to kid that we have a Philippine Air Force without an airplane.
Sir, then
We need to improve. We have to have a better army, better equipped, and better trained.
Sir, then did they fail, sir? Yung modernization program, sir, that was funded with the sale of Fort Bonifacio, with other military camps, do you think it failed, sir, na ngayon kailangan pa ng matinding upgrading pa rin hanggang ngayon, sir?
No, but it will come from the proceeds. Some of them come from the proceeds of the sale. And it started during the time of Ramos. But at that time, the amount given to them is very small. 2 billion, 1 year, 5 billion. Kasi bumili ka ng isang aeroplano, mahal na yun. One chopper is how much? $10 million. Okay? It's not cheap. Okay? But on the other hand, we cannot afford not to invest in our armed forces. Okay?
Sir, yung request na replenishment sa defense, ano na nangyari?
We're acting on it.
So how much? 2.5 billion per hour?
I don't think it's...
How much?
But we're acting on it. I can give you that. All right?
So just to clarify, the 90 billion you're saying annual will cost taxpayers for the pension?
Yeah, that's in the budget. That's in the budget.
It's annual.
The annual pension plan, which is supposed to be covered by a pension system. Kasi under normal conditions, dapat meron silang sariling pension funding. For example, the SIS or SSS in the case of private sector, dapat meron silang ganun fund. Now, since na-collapse na nga yun, they come to us. And so every year, we appropriate a certain sum of money for them. And who's paid for that? Kayo. Kayo na kung tayo. Ngayon nila nalaman? Yes. I think to me the sensible solution is to have them covered by GSIS. Now that there is the 7 trillion question, and if I were GSIS, bakit ko naman tatanggapin yan? Alam ko na meron kang 7 trillion liabilities na nakahang. So there's got to be some negotiation. Okay. And you know.
Sir, stupid question ulit. Last na talaga. Sir, how many soldiers and policemen are we covering every year to cover that 90 billion peso? And then, sa
I don't have the numbers. Alam mo mga sundalo kasi, they retire now and they die very, very old. Tingnan nyo na lang si FDR. Kung yung mga siguro mga 50s, anong retire na 56, mag-retire ka ng 56. Tapos mamamatay ka ng mga 90. Lugi ka talaga. So, I don't know how many soldiers there are. And ano yan, meron pa yan, yung kanilang dependent.
Yeah.
Oo. Tapos mag-aasawa pa ng bata. Mag-aasawa ng bata. So, continuous yan. So, talagang we have to go through this very carefully. But it's a big, big problem. Yes.
Secretary, it's alarming kasi 7 billion pesos. It's almost the budget for the Build program.
Yeah, for over 5 years. Over 7 billion yan, over 5 years.
Build is also over the same 30
Yes,
years.
yes. Tama.
What would you say na sabihin nga alarming? So how are you going to work around this? You need 7 trillion for this, you need 8 trillion for the Build.
Yeah, we're actually, we cannot sacrifice the build too. But we are addressing the problem. So, ilan taon na ito? Over 20 years na ito. Walang gusto mag-cut sa kanya. But at least, to give credit to this administration, we are confronting the problem.
So why don't we just sell Kangkran, sir?
Yes.
Is there anything else on the pension fund? Sir, balikan ko na lang yung press release mo. Yung budget reform bill, when you see its approval and when could it be implemented?
I hope it will be approved before our office, but it will be approved before the end.
And so,
Together with other priority measures like train, this one plus the right sizing, it's actually progressing well in both houses of Congress.
okay, so the implementation of it would coincide with the 2018 budget. You won't need.
Yes, 2018. But right now we are already on a one-year program because in the 2017 budget there is a provision which says that the life of this appropriation is 2 years. Pinagdito namin yung Presidente. So right now we are already operating on a 1 year. Kaya nagmamadali sila lahat ngayon tumastas. And of course, there's the President's order that you use your budget, use it well, or use your job. So, anything else? Yes.
Sir, later this month, di ba, you will go to Japan, yung economic manager. Specifically, what you hope to achieve when you...
Well, it's kind of preparatory for the Prime Minister of Japan's visit to the Philippines. Maybe at that time, we'll prepare the documents, and we'll identify what projects, we will close the deal, so to speak. No? And from there, we'll go to Shanghai and China during that entire week.
So, sir, more or less, during this visit, maka-finalize talaga yung regarding the subway project?
Yes, actually, the preliminary work that is being done, has been done. So, in fact, sabi lang ni Prime Minister, gusto niya magsasign siya. Sa moment, we could have signed it much earlier, except did you exercise?
So, aside sa subway, meron pang ibang projects na more or less?
More or less, look at our 75 major projects. I think that's there. Okay? So Japan will construct the subway, also the train from Tutuban to Clark, and then there's another train from Tutuban to Calamba, kanila rin yun. Okay? On the part of China naman is another train from Paco to Calamba rin. So dalawang train yung gagawin yun. And then from Calamba all the way to Maclo. And then on the same, approximately the same date, we will inaugurate or we will ground break the 2 bridges donated by China dito sa Pantalion, sa Makati, and then another one in Intramuros, Binondo. So iyan rin yan, ika-ground break ng Chinese people. So that's around November, right? And then there's an Indaba Island Bridge in Iloilo, it's in the Visayas. So three islands will be linked by a bridge. And then there's another train from Clark to Subic to Clark. That's China. And another train, Davao Digos, 100 kilometer. So by the end of the 30th term, the dami and train is it's all over.
Secretary, later there's a scheduled speech by Senator Garo regarding the tax reform.
Yes. At 3 o'clock this afternoon.
You have a message for our lawmakers regarding the trade initiative?
No, I think contrary to the reports na major hesitancy in Senator Agara, I think he's going to sponsor it finally today after hundreds of meetings with council. We continue to brief them individually or as a group to convince them. You know, you should look at taxation not only simply a burden on the people. Hindi lang yung, we are taxing people not because we want to overburden you. Okay? We're taxing you because we want to do other things like we want education, we want health, we want build, etc. And I think there's if you look at the net gain of this tax reform, it's positive. For example, hindi na di-discuss masyado dyan we are reducing the tax rate from 32 to 25%. And that affects practically all people, all tax-paying individuals, 99%. Tataasan lang natin yung super rates. Yung super rates will increase the rate from 32 to 35. Okay. But 99% of tax filers, including you, will benefit from this. Okay. So your first 250,000 will not be taxed, zero in tax. First 250,000 will be zero, okay, no tax. And then we will use this to fund our building program. Kasi we complain a lot about traffic, di ba? This is a solution to the traffic.
Secretary, it has been said that the Senate version would yield a net revenue gain of about 130 billion pesos in the first year of implementation.
That's the Senate version.
Yes.
Okay. That's good news. That's
So
good
you
news.
find it acceptable even as it's
That's
something
approximately what the House version will yield also. Alright, so that's good news. We're expecting sana that 130 billion is acceptable.
Sir, last clarification lang, sir. So regarding dun sa pension, di ba Absalay, maraming assets ang Absalay, like
Yeah,
enchanted
pwede
kingdom, etc.
Pwede na.
Kasama ba yan sa...
Pwede natin yung one of those na papangako natin sa GSIS.
So kasama rin yun?
Kasama lahat yun. Yes,
So
ma'am.
my question is regarding to this 1,000 budget for CHR and then the other agencies na nabigyan ng 1,000 budget. Sir, kasi may nakaraan statement si Congressman Nograles na just in case mag-push through talaga yung 1,000 budget sa CHR at din sa dalawang agency, pwede daw humingi ng budget sa DBM ng CHR. Is that possible, sir? Meron na bang ganun pangyayari na before?
Under the Constitution, the President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House, and the other constitutional officers may augment out of savings yung budget nila, out of savings. So meron ganun flexibility. So in the case of ERC and in the case of the indigenous people and CIP, the President, using the whole executive department's budget, may augment yung pay nung dalawang agency na yun. But yung CHR, since the constitutional office, hindi pwede gamitin yung budget namin. Yun ang tinatawag mo sa DAP ruling na cross-border transfer. So hindi kami pwede magbigay sila sa kanila ng pera out of our savings. Bawal yun. But as I said, this is too much speculation over nothing. I don't think it will happen. So let's forget about it. let's not write about, let's not lose sleep about it. Write about something more likely to happen.
So they might restore.
Sabi ko nga, the legislation is the art of the compromise. Okay? They have to compromise.
But would you want SHR budget restored, sir?
Of course, that's our budget. I mean, that's the president's budget. Maybe not to the same level. We have to respect. You know, under the Constitution, it's really Congress is the power makers. Okay? Their power is to not to increase but decrease. Okay? That's their power. Not to increase but decrease the budget of the agencies. So if they choose to decrease, okay, that's out. Any other questions? If wala kayong questions sa procurement, masyadong technical. At least, corrected there is here. Kasi yung procurement, admittedly, it looks complicated. But during Arab's time, we issued an executive order reflecting all these reforms. This is also one of my major advocacy. Noong time pa ni Korea, I found the procurement system so chaotic and it's groundbreaking. So in fact, meron nga kami iniisip, hindi ka naman na yung pagbili ng kotse, hindi na, we'll just listen in our catalog. So wala nang mga bidding. We'll just listen to our electronic catalog. And then you choose what kind of car you want to buy. Of course, you won't see the Mercedes-Benz or walang nagawin kotse. Walang Beamer, basta Toyota, etc. But it's as easy as that. Wala nang bidding. You talk to the manufacturers. It's like you're buying a lot of paper. Okay? Alright, so I have to go to Congress to defend our budget. There's another handout here. This is my article, September 24, 2014. I said, the EGC of Array National Council. I stand by this article. Ganito pa rin ang posisyon.